Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. Welcome back, part 2. James Tittle, Psycho Cook. I think it was Doc had hired in a girl, or a woman, or if you will. Her name was Barb. He had hired her in to do his cooking things, like his soups, like I said about Eddie Baker and everything. And like I said, Eddie Baker was known as the milker, because, like I said, he milked the clock. He tried to suck every minute that he could out of the clock. And stuff like that, so he was known as the milker. So James just went around, basically, Mark had called him the milkman, and James went around going, milk, milk, and picked it up, and James had done it a lot. But anyway, Barb, Doc hired Barb in, and Barb had a little boy. I think I'd say he's about maybe 5 or 6. Well, actually, I'd say he's about 5 or 6, maybe 7 at the oldest. James and Barb had clicked. They had basically decided that they were going to go out and do everything together. And I can remember it got to the point where James and Barb had really they had gotten into a fight one day, and the whole back kitchen was covered with water because James had taken the water from the sink that she had that she was getting ready to soak the salad in to help keep it. Or basically, she was just going to put that she had salad in there, and basically was getting ready to drain it or whatever. And she had some water in there, said that she filled up in the sink, and she was going to basically put the lettuce in there and kind of, get it a little wet, if you will. And James took the water out of splashed the water up out of the thing and got her all wet. And they also had some fights, if you will. They had fights where they throw cherries at each other, or Doc's cherry pie filling mix, and they basically just, or the pie filling mix that he had used for the dumplings as well, and they basically just would fight, or had throw fights at that. The big water fight was basically one of the ones that there, and it was just weird because they would fight constantly. James basically had just snapped. James was the type of person that it was hard for James to get a woman or have a woman, because James just basically, he would snap if things didn't go his way. and then it was just really bad. And Mark had used the little handled dustpan with a handle on it. He used it to walk around like he was using that to be James dragging Barb's little boy up Lincoln Way Viaduct, or Lincoln Way Bridge, if you will. And he basically used that to basically prove a point that James drugged that little boy around and everything. And James, like I said, James was a good cook, don't get me wrong, but there was just some things that James did that really made you explode, or there were things that James couldn't tolerate before he'd go, like I said, from that Dr. Jekyll to Mr. Hyde mode. And like I said, with him and Barb, I think they moved in with one another, and they always in there living with each other for like a week, if that, before things really started to explode. James lived in hotels. I think his most I don't think he ever lived in an apartment, to my recollection. He always lived in a hotel, and that's basically where he lived, is out of hotels. And Mark said that James's favorite song, or a song that reminded him of James, was by Joe Walsh, called "Life's Been Good." I live in hotels, tear out the walls. James, like I said, just a good cook in his own right. But when it come down to it, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde was how you could explain James. Psycho cook. I'm sure there's a lot of things I'm leaving out with James, and I could be here all day talking about James. That's just the gist of James Tittle, Psycho Cook. Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I'll catch you next time.